My home is Clarksburg. It has been my entire life. My name is Mike Campbell. I was very fortunate, blessed, to be a member of Class 3. Growing up in Clarksburg was a wonderful experience for a young man. Riding in the pickup with my dad and being able to drive a tractor when I was really young, 12 years old, be a part of agriculture. After the Army, I come back and farm with my father in the Delta, and that was definitely one of the greatest experiences of my life, sharing his life. And I knew that I was going to do something in agriculture. I didn't know exactly what it would be. Ultimately wound up working in the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences and teaching in the Agricultural Economics Department. And then I spent 7 years with the small team that developed UC Merced. Went back to Davis, and now I'm retired, working to pay back all the good things that have been given to me. So I learned about the program in 1970 and then applied in 1972. And the program was 3 years at that time, so we graduated in 1975. I can remember seeing a notification of the starting of the program and a call for applications. I was in the Army at that time. What I remember the most about the program is what an honor it was to be selected. And it put me in a different orbit. We met in Monterey for our very first seminar, where we all came together, basically a group of strangers. But it was the first seminar after that where we sat in a room and we really started the education process. And we go from strangers to ultimately becoming a family. The emphasis on improving California agriculture, developing leaders for California agriculture, everyone was focused on that and how they could improve themselves to ultimately improve California agriculture. And it wasn't about agriculture, it was about developing your skills to be able to communicate with urban people and urban legislators, because it had become obvious they were making more decisions for California agriculture, urban voters, urban legislators, than agriculture was making. So it was developing us to learn more about urban issues, social issues, politics, government, in preparation for being, I will say, ambassadors for California agriculture. I think that the biggest challenge with the program for me was the time commitment and being able to leave our farming operation and attend the seminars, being able to leave our farming operation at planting time to go on the international trip. And if I had had my father's support, his commitment, it would have been much more, it was difficult, but it would have been much more difficult. Individuals that made a great impact on the program would be the founding board, their vision. I don't think you can underestimate what Carl Wente did when he was the president of Bank of America and challenging Dean Brown to lead the development of a leadership program like the Michigan Ag Leadership Program. You know, he really kicked it off. And the original donors, the people that saw the vision and were willing to invest in it, Irvine Company, Jim Boswell, and Kellogg. A story that I believe was unique to our class was the foundation applied to go to China, take our class to China, when relations had just been normalized with the Chinese in 1975. And Ultimately, the Chinese government came back and said, we'll take 20 people. And there were 34, 35, our class, plus the other folks, the other leaders that would be traveling with us. The story was, how do you decide the 20 that are going to go? And names went in a hat, they were pulled out, and the first 19 that pulled out of the hat went to China. And the class said, we want Dean Brown to be the leader of the delegation. So our class was one of the first 5 State Department authorized organizations to get into China after relations were normalized. The program exposed our class to museums, art museums, and artists, and I fell in love with art. And it's been an important part of my life since that time. And it's because of Ag Leadership, that I have that love for art, but also that I have that particular piece because I was in India, on the street, bought that piece of art. My involvement with Ag Leadership has changed my life, greatly enhanced my life, given me a vision of not only what's possible, but a way to get to achieving things that I wouldn't have achieved if it wasn't for the program. I was young in my class. Some of the members were already in leadership roles, important leadership roles in California agriculture. And that sort of drove the younger folks because you could see what the older class members were doing. And I think it gave us a point, a visionary point to say, okay, we can do that too, or we need to do that. We need to be willing to accept the responsibility. For me, the program keeps getting better. This is almost 55 years later from when we started. And because I've stayed involved and I've seen how the program changes with the times, still the dedication to developing leaders, the dedication to being the best leadership program that it can be, selecting the best candidates, participants. I view the program as building a cadre of people to go out and improve California agriculture. But also at the same time, you live in a community, you're going to improve your community also. A huge project that we've taken on, our community has taken on, is to acquire, move, and restore the oldest schoolhouse in the Delta. It was built in 1883 and in operation for 40 years until they built a modern school, elementary school, with electricity and bathrooms indoors. And we've done that over 11 years, very simple building. And I believe it's changed the way that our community looks at itself. I think something that we don't focus on are the importance of the friendships that are developed, not for personal improvement, but how those friendships improve California agriculture. I believe the program has lasted for so many decades because of its goals, to train people in agriculture, to be leaders in agriculture, to support agriculture, to be ambassadors for agriculture. It's succeeded because of the universities that have been involved and their commitment to enhancing the program. What is the product? The graduates. What have the graduates done in their communities? I would bet that the communities that the graduates live in have benefited as much as California agriculture has benefited from graduates in their enhanced leadership capabilities. Our class, 1972 to 1975, 3 years, gave us a wonderful opportunity to know each other, to potentially disagree with each other, but in the end, to be a team and to be a family. And that's one of the great gifts of ag leadership, are the people that are in your class and the family that's developed that you have forever. In 3 words, describe my agricultural leadership experience: an extraordinary gift. I wouldn't have the life that I have now. I wouldn't have had the opportunities that I had after the Ag Leadership Program. I wouldn't have the expectations about, aiming higher. It's the gift that keeps on giving for me.